Flemish incidence is difficult. Furthermore, I realize that I am the last barrier between you and cocktails. So I think it's a tough spot. And worst of all, I'm going to talk about the future of media and marketing to people who know all about media and marketing.
You told us a lot of interesting stuff, but what are the things that people should take home and reminisce about?
Well, basically, as was mentioned in the title, I think, the move from one-way communication to interactive communication, I mean, it's already present, but it's going to be much more pervasive in the future. Basically for two reasons. One, that digitalization will enable it, and on the other hand, that people will want it. They do not want to be passive consumers of messages and ads and that kind of thing. So I think that's the basic message I can.
Interactivity.
Interactivity is going to be more and more easy to do it, and people will want it even more.
These phenomena are also are already present, but in a future stage, what do you think are the consequences for society?
For society, well, first of all, I'd like to say that for people in the communication business, this of course is very important, the interactive aspect. But what I was trying to tell is that not all is going to be interactivity, neither in the future, for two reasons. First of all, because at least if you don't look too far into the future, there are still people who are not on this digital development, who don't feel connected to that. People from, say, my age and up, or maybe even younger, they are not digital natives. So my point is that if you're in the communication business, you have to think through what kind of logic is applying to the communication you're doing. And I suggest that there are four potential logics that could apply. First of all, the logic we call dream society, where you have to focus on people's emotions because they take function for granted. Things work, so what? I mean, consumers are bloody spoiled. And they agree to say, that's okay, but can I get more? So function has to be there, but you have to play on their emotions in order to make them buy your kind of product or your kind of message. Otherwise, that's the dream society logic. Then there's another logic which we created a couple of years ago called creative man, which is insisting that people do not want to be just passive consumers or passive receivers of messages. They want to be interactive for various reasons, because they think they're unique. That's of course usually not true, but if they think so, you better act as if you think it's true. And they do not want to be passive because it's going to be politically incorrect. Of course, we will still sometimes act as couch potatoes Friday night when we're too tired to do anything, but we're not proud of it. People want to be interactive, and therefore we are going from the consumer to the prosumer, from passive consuming products and messages to an integrated part of the production of the kind of things or the kind of message that you consume. So that's the creative man logic. This has these various logics, and there are two more. There's the industrial society logic, where you're focusing on productivity and efficiency, and finally there's a knowledge society logic, where you're focusing on rationality. And you have to, and that was my point when you're into the information activity, you have to think more on what kind of logic does apply well. Because for some kind of messages, the good old industrial society logic is very sensible. Just ensuring that the right facts are available when people want it. The continuous news streams, breaking news, bloody boring, but some people like it that way. You have also to focus on the prosumer, and there you have the interactive aspect. You have to open up media, giving people the feeling that they are an integrated, an interactive part of the process. You have also to focus on knowledge society, and that's where you have all the focus on search machines, ever more sophisticated, where you have tailored knowledge bases, and where you can get it on the run, and that kind of thing. And finally, you have the dream society logic, where you have to focus on the kind of stories to tell, the kind of dreams you evoke. And it's important to know this, because otherwise you use one logic where another one really does apply.
Because I think most of the things we hear from the different speakers are very much focused on our society, and I think in like 20 years or something that the world might have changed a lot.
I agree totally. But you know, the speakers today, me included, we know something about the West. We don't really know enough about India and China and where the things really are moving. And up to a point, we will not be punished for that, because, as I said earlier, they will go for some of the things that we go for too. The question is, we will have to be better at what you could call intercultural communication, knowing that some things you say there, you don't say there.